Political tensions are rising in Zimbabwe after the cabinet approved proposed constitutional amendments that could extend President Emerson Mnangagwa's tenure until 2030, sparking outrage from opposition parties and civil society groups. The 83-year-old president is currently serving his second and final term, which is set to end in 2028 under Zimbabwe's existing constitutional term limits. The newly approved amendment, however, could pave the way for an extension of his rule by altering key positions governing presidential terms and electoral processes. The proposed changes are expected to be introduced in Parliament in the coming weeks, with the ruling ZANU-PF party holding a commanding majority in both the National Assembly and Senate. The amendments are widely anticipated to pass legislative hurdles. Critics argue that the parliamentary arithmetic heavily favors the governing party, raising concerns about the likelihood of meaningful debate or resistance within the legislature. Opposition leaders have strongly condemned the move, describing it as an attempt to undermine constitutional democracy and entrench executive power. They argue that any amendments with the effect of extending a sitting president's term should be subjected to a national referendum rather than decided solely through Parliament. Legal analysts aligned with the opposition maintain that bypassing a referendum could weaken the legitimacy of the constitutional framework adopted in 2013. Civil society organizations have also raised alarm, warning that altering term limits risks reversing democratic gains and setting a precedent for indefinite rule. Some groups have begun mobilizing public awareness campaigns. While calls for peaceful protests are growing amid heightened political tensions, the government has defended the proposed amendments as part of broader constitutional reforms aimed at ensuring policy continuity and political stability. Officials argue that the longer terms could allow the administration to complete development programs tied to its long-term economic visions. The development comes at a time when Zimbabwe continues to grapple with economic challenges, including high unemployment, currency instability, and rising public dissatisfaction. Analysts say the constitutional debate is likely to intensify political polarization ahead of the 2028 elections. Regional and international observers are expected to closely monitor the parliamentary process as concerns mount over the potential implications for governance, democratic norms, and political stability in southern African nation.